Hello, guys. Welcome to something a little different. This is not going to be a gaming video. This is going to be a dialogue video where I'm going to be talking about a specific video that would be put on screen. I had I think it was about a half an hour debate with this one person, and I just wanted to talk about it. Um, okay. To start off first, this is about Christianity. So if you do not care about religion or just don't care about Christianity, I still ask you to stay, but you have been warned that this video is about that. And a lot of my videos will be about that. That's what I want to use my platform for. So might as well. Right? Okay. So basically I found them on a live stream of this atheist basically saying, yeah, praying, telling people you're gonna pray for them is disrespectful. You guys might instantly be like, "What? How is it disrespectful? If I go and tell my neighbor I'm gonna pray for them after they're like not feeling good, wouldn't that be a good thing? Yeah, it would be. If you go say, "Oh, I'm gonna pray you good fortune," that's a good thing. And not to mention, a lot of the time, praying is out of love. It's not out of spite. It's not out of any prejudice or it's just any hate at all. It's usually 95% about love. I mean, unless you're just being weird and like, I guess there's definitely gonna be that one person who's like, God, I pray you just smite down this guy. He makes fun of you. Like, I'm sure there's that one guy who does that. I mean, let's be honest. There's always been a time that somebody felt that way. I don't know if anybody prayed that way, but there's definitely has been a time people have felt that way. Can't really judge them for it though. Judge it bad, but that's not the point. Point is this person was commenting, yes, praying for people who do not believe in your faith to find your faith is disrespectful. An example, if I prayed that an atheist finds Jesus, that is disrespectful. So let's go into this. Why would I be praying for that? First off, if I'm praying for them to find Jesus, it's because Jesus has done something and Jesus is a good guy. Like, I'm not praying out of spite, I'm praying out of love. I'm not praying something happens bad to you, but only praying that you are blessed, that you find Jesus, because Jesus has done so much for me that I hope he does it for you. It's not out of spite. I gave them a little bit of an example. I'll read you the example as best as I can. The example is, let's say, my father told me that I need to plant a tree in his property. So I go to do it. And this guy tells me to not plant a tree here, that he loves sitting here and looking at the sun, and that the tree is going to block out the sun for him. Okay. But this is my father's property, and my father told me to plant this tree. The tree also will not block the property. So they just say, I don't like trees. Okay. Do I not plant the tree and disobey my father? Or do I plant the tree because this person's offended and doesn't like trees? Their answer was they should plant the tree. What does that have to do with religion? I also asked them who's in the right and the wrong. And they said nobody. And they said that you should listen to your father. So I'm saying, okay, so let's say my father is God. And a tree is a gospel or prayer. If he tells me to pray as he does in the Bible, why would I not pray when somebody gets offended? Like, I understand that some people are like, don't pray for me, but I'm still gonna pray for you. The whole reason I'm praying for you is because I want good things to happen for you. It's not that it's disrespectful, it's subjective on how you want to take it. And some people just take it as bad. But again, that's just subjective. You can take anything as bad if you really want to. You can go and tell somebody they are really tall, and they can take that as an insult. So it doesn't matter whether you say it or not. If somebody said they're gonna pray for me, even as a Christian, sometimes I might be offended depending on what they might pray. So I definitely get that. But at the same time, that's not because of my religion. That's not because of any of my beliefs. That's just because sometimes, as a human who's flawed, I just can't fathom that. Oh man, I suck. It's kind of dumb. Like you just can't fathom that sometimes. Oh, why do you look like that? Boom, bang. Trying to make him go kill 5 without killing him. Um, and then they said that's your religion. Do whatever he says if that's what you believe in. Others don't believe in it. Okay, so you're telling me I should pray for others. And then I tell him, yeah, he tells me to pray for everybody, including my enemies. And he was like, somebody who doesn't believe it, the Lord is not your enemy. I'm not saying that they are, but the point is that they tell me to pray for everyone, and they're very clear on that. And then they told me about this really long paragraph about basically it's just a really silly story on like how Greeks believed that Zeus was real and stuff, and they had like culture around it, and they had all this, and I'm like, yeah, I get it, but I'm not debating you on whether Christianity is true or not. I'm debating you on not even really debating. I'm talking to you and explaining why prayer is so important and why there's zero reason you should be offended about it unless you just decide to take it as offensive. And then say, and you can pray for everybody without disrespecting them. Yes, I understand that. You can pray for people without disrespecting them, but your main argument before was that praying for somebody who doesn't have the same faith as you can be offensive. Okay? Again, anything can be offensive. Now you're saying the way that you pray is offensive. Okay, so if I say I'm gonna go pray about you, which is what the original live was saying, that was the offensive part. Now the offensive part is saying that I want my father to come to you so you can come to him. Something that is between me and my father, God. So how is that offensive if technically you'll never know about that? You'll never know exactly what I'm saying. Like I can just be praying that you get good luck. I can be praying that you find God. Like you wouldn't know. First off, second off, that's not offensive. If you don't even believe in prayer, why is it that you decide to have all the hate about it? It doesn't make sense. There's no. They were also like avoiding questions. Um, and then I told him praying isn't like something that's notorious. Like it's not something that's bad. It's an act of love. If I'm praying for somebody, it's out of love. Let's say somebody has somebody sick, and I'll say I'll send you my prayers. That is a good thing. That is me being nice. It is because I love them and care for them. I'm not praying for anything notorious. I'm not saying I'm gonna pray for you because I want you dead. I'm saying I'm gonna pray for you because I want you to be happy. I want you to have love. I want God to help you and be in your life like He was in my life. I don't understand how, in any way, any shape or form, prayer can be offensive to you. I just don't get it. And then they started changing the conversation to prayer for someone is only disrespectful if you make it disrespectful. And I said, yes. That's subjective though, because you can take anything as offensive if you want. Somebody can call you a guy and you suddenly are offended by that because you are gender neutral. Like, you can literally find anything offensive. And then he dropped a bomb on me and said, I am a Christian. Pray for me all that you want. But praying for somebody who's not of a religion where they believe in God and they take it as disrespectful is disrespectful. I want you to pay attention. They take it as disrespectful. You can take anything as disrespectful. if they might not believe, but why get offended by it if you do not believe? The only reason you would get offended by it is if you hate Christianity. Hate to say it, but if you don't care about Christianity, you don't believe in anything, you don't won't care if somebody's praying for you. The only reason you would hate that is if you hate Christianity or hate prayer, like hate religion altogether. In the live, a whole bunch of people were saying, I'll pray for you, I'll pray for you, I'll pray for you." Spamming that. It was a little bit annoying. I'll admit that definitely was something that did not need to happen. But even like other people of other religions, Buddhists, Islam, Muslims, even atheists were saying, "Yeah, I don't care if people pray for me. What are you talking about?" um, and then they said, "You're hearing what you want to hear. You're giving stereotypical Christian." I'm like, "What's stereotypical about it? I'm giving you what the Bible says for me to do, to pray for people, to love people, and that praying is an act of love. Do you think that when Jesus prayed for the people who were killing him, that they were offended? Do you think they were happy about it? Matter of fact, do you think they wanted him to pray? They didn't care because they didn't believe in it. So why is it that you are offended about it? If you don't believe in it and you don't care, why are you offended about it? But specifically, this person says they're a Christian, so why are they fighting me on prayer? If they're a Christian, they know the commandments. They know that they've been commanded to pray. They know that they're commanded to spread the gospel. They know that they are commanded to love. So why are you forbidding other Christians from spreading love, giving love, and praying? What sense does that make? It doesn't make any sense, guys. And then they just started verbally abusing me because they just didn't understand. And that happens. Some people just do not understand. They said, "Oh my gosh. Oh my god." Using the Lord's name in vain, as usual. What are you not getting? How are you this naive? I can't. I said, you need to calm down. You're just tripping over your own words. And he said, and then they said, it's still disrespectful because you need to respect other religions. So then I targeted this claim because when you debate or when you even talking to people, you want to go after what they say. You can just keep asking questions to count, make them slip up on their own words, or you can, if you are smart enough, not to gloat or anything, you can go straight for the claim. You need to respect other religions. In the Bible, it doesn't say anything about respecting other religions. It says respecting other people. I do not have to respect a false religion that I do not believe in. How is it respectful? Not that I'm saying I don't respect another religion, but the only only people you're talking about are the people who clearly don't have a religion, atheists. So what religion am I respecting? The belief of not believing? Not to mention, is it respectful to tell a Christian not to pray when their religion is on praying? That's one of the ways that they exercise their religious beliefs. Is that not disrespecting my religion? And then they said, "Where in the Bible does it say you don't need to respect other people's religions?" This is another apologist technique. Then I asked them, "Where in the Bible does it say you have to respect other people's religions?" They said it doesn't exist. Okay. Then I asked them, "Where in the Bible does it say you don't pray for people who don't want to be prayed for, or because they're offended?" And they said that doesn't exist. And however people take offense, they can take offense on whatever they want. I will pray for them, and hopefully they'll come back. They'll be happy. But I'm not doing it because I want them to love me. If I wanted to love them, I would just vote. I would just tell them whatever they want to hear. That they are the best people in the world. That they don't need God, because that's clearly what they want to hear. But I want them to be saved. I want them to go to heaven. I want God to know them and them to know God. So why would I care if they are offended? And then they called me slow. And then they started saying, I never said don't pray. I said don't pray if it's disrespectful. And then I said, yeah, I didn't say you said don't pray. I said you said don't pray if somebody's gonna get disrespected. And I said, I'm praying as my religion says to pray regardless. And then they said I have amnesia. And then they said, well, I said don't pray for people. And again, I brought the same thing. I said I didn't say that you said to not pray for people. I said that you said to not pray for people who might find it disrespectful. And I said my religion does not care if they find it offended. That I'm going to pray for people regardless of how they interpret it. And then they started deleting messages. So I just blocked them and took a video. So let's talk about it a little bit more, just in depth to make it explain. In the Bible, it tells you to pray for people, even your enemies, to spread the gospel and to love everyone. So if I'm told not to pray, not only is this restricting what my religion says to do, but you are telling me basically not to have a communication with God. Because that's what prayer is. That is talking to God. That is not a favor. I mean, I guess it could be a favor, but it's not what prayer is usually about, and it doesn't always have to be about. Like, I don't get it. I know this is not the type of videos I typically post on here, but this is just something I felt needs a bit more view, especially since it was such a long debate for zero reason. And I'll admit, I do feel a little guilty for even letting them debate at all, because clearly they don't understand what they're debating for. They're basically debating um, that Christianity is a cult. We should not be praying for people because that's not an act of love. That is recruitment, and I don't feel like they should have any platform. But if I can at least use that negative influence that they were giving to spread more of the gospel, I might as well, if that makes sense.